Stay Sane with Jane, Season 2 Local Legends, the show that helps you to thrive, not just survive. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Tune in each week as Jane connects with local legends of Dorset, bringing you the most up-to-date health and wellness guidance, therapies, courses, retreats, and stories happening locally. Each session includes a guided meditation hosted by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlan. Hello and welcome to Season 2 and Episode 2. Today we are going to be interviewing Bernadett Kasza, and she is a local birth professional working privately for families, providing physical, educational, practical and advocational support for families during their pregnancy journey and birth and afterwards. So she's a full spectrum doula and running a wide range of antenatal and postnatal classes covering Bournemouth and surrounding areas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello everyone. Thank you for having me on this podcast, Jane.
It's my absolute pleasure. Tell us a little bit about you, Bernadett. Who are you primarily, and then we'll get to kind of business and what you do.
So, well, I was born in Hungary and I moved to the UK in 2009. And here I am living in Bournemouth. This is the only place where I moved when I moved here, so I didn't move around. And I have stayed in this lovely town since then.
Oh, you're lucky. You moved straight here to a little bit of paradise.
Yes. No, I love the sea. We love the sea. So, and I live here with my family. We have got a 5-year-old girl. And we love the sea, we love the forest, we try to venture out a lot and explore a variety of nice historical places around here as well. Regarding my professional development, I studied BA in Hungary. I did a university degree there. And I slowly transitioned into opening up a bit more towards the physiological area of birthing, and
Yeah. And what was your degree in it? Was it linked as well? Because often kind of the university degrees and then what we actually end up doing are completely different. But for some people, it is a very clear path.
For me, it was kind of yes and no, because I had a dream to become a doctor when I was in my childhood, teenage years. Mm-hmm. And then that didn't really come to the fore when I was in Hungary because of financial reasons, because over there it would have been like really expensive to study medicine.
Yeah.
And so I went to study more like sociology, psychology, or andragogy is more, is not such a good translation for what I did, but it was like an all humanistic studies, if you like. Yes. That's the best, maybe. And then I took an interest in matrilineal societies, and I went in and researched that in my final years in university. Mm-hmm. And that somehow opened up so much for me that I started to focus a lot on womanhood, cross-culturally as well, and right through the thousands and thousands of years from the prehistoric times, pretty much.
Wow, that must have been an interesting study.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I loved it, and this is somewhat like a door for working with women, and then entering into the world of birthing.
Yeah. And do you feel like in the West, we have come away from the more thousands of years ago, when we really birthed together as a community with lots of women around us, etc. Do you think in the West we've gone away from that quite a lot?
Yes,
Disconnected almost.
definitely. It is really down, generally speaking, it is down to many factors, but yeah, we have come away from that. If we go back in time, it's mostly because of the hospitalization of birth.
Yes.
So that took the woman out of her normal community and put her into a sterile environment, first of all on her own, and then later on, especially in the UK, later on, maybe about 70s, I think 80s, when fathers slowly, managed to get into the birthing room to be with their partner.
Yeah.
But if we go back in time, when we were mostly giving birth at home, we had the support of a midwife. Well, the history of midwifery was really up and down, up and down.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have lost a lot. We have lost a lot of knowledge, even more so because when you go back even more, back to the Middle Age, midwives were burning at stake as well during the witch hunt.
Really?
Yeah. They were classified as healers, but they were, so.
Yeah. Oh, it's shocking. It gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that really did happen, and it was just women helping and healing and bringing, helping bring life into the world with the midwives.
Exactly. And they all, in their small, close-knit communities, they know the midwives, and young girls were helping out. For example, the neighbor was giving birth, and then, that was the midwife, but there were other women from the villages
that would help with maybe the other children or the household chores and the animals. Yeah.
Just warming up the food, just playing under the hands of the midwife, just to be there. And then this way, younger girls were exposed to hearing and seeing a laboring woman. So it wasn't that alien like it is maybe now. Now thanks to YouTube, we see many.
And now we've got the TV, but they only show real kind of crazy stuff.
No, that's just a show. I watched one little bit of One Born every minute. No, it's just
I did too, and I was like, this is just so dramatized. This isn't what's anything like what my birthing experience was like. And I don't think it really portrays much of a positive image for women who are going to be birthing soon or want to in their future. It just wouldn't fill you with joy seeing that sort of drama, would it?
Yeah, and it feels, we're already dealing with an element of the unknown because we are not seeing women giving birth. And then adding this totally skewed image to the cauldron of this topic. Oh, yeah, that's not very good.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got started in your field.
Like I mentioned before, sorry, I already went into this.
That's okay.
But,
when you came to Bournemouth, have you always been a doula here? Or...
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you. Yes, no, I trained to be a doula here. So I moved in 2009, and I think it was 2011. It was such a long time. Yeah, 2011, December, when I trained with nurturing birth. I don't know if I can say, sorry. Yeah, so I trained in the UK to be a doula. Yes, and then in 2013, I applied for university, and I studied midwifery in UWE in Bristol.
Okay.
But I left the NHS. Yes, so now I'm working privately, and I find it is a lot better because I'm true to myself and true to the values that are important for me and for families and for women. So yeah, that's like a little snippet of my journey. But when I look back at my life in general,
Yeah.
I think I can almost see that everything that was happening almost like pushed me towards this way to work in birthing, because I also teach belly dancing, and I started belly dancing in 2000.
Yeah.
And that was already a major step in this field. I was always a dancer, but we were, it was mixed groups, girls and boys. But when we were doing belly dancing, it was mostly amongst women. And I believe that was a massive influence as well. And then
Can you explain why a little bit? Because I'm very drawn to it. I haven't come to one of your classes yet. I must do. But I know people that have, and they say it's a wonderful experience. And I don't know whether it's similar if you do the different types of yoga, but there's one that's like very feminine, and it really opens up like the Kundalini energy and the chakras. And I imagine that belly dancing does something similar with the movements.
I think so. I think so too. But what we have to know about belly dancing, that is, belly dancing, the roots of belly dancing is old as humankind. Because dancing was originally a form of prayer, that they were dancing to connect with the higher forces, their gods and goddesses. And they use it as prayer for fertility, for nature, and for their own bodies. And then we are talking long since
Yeah.
being of humankind. So one thing I can imagine that probably happened, that the collective subconscious basically collected so much symbols and variety of archetypes that really ties in to this massive pool of knowledge and imagery and symbols. And for example, things like you mentioned, the energetical, the chakra connections, and all the things that you mentioned regarding yoga, I am pretty sure that something like that also present when women do belly dancing. I haven't necessarily researched the energetical side of each
Yeah.
movement, but that would be rather interesting, I think. But yeah, it's a very strong hip movement, and that's basically the root of it. And of course, during the years, it developed, it got cleared out, got stageable now, beautiful armholds and positions. But back then, obviously, it was a lot rawer. If there is such a word, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something so feminine, and I believe is powerful for women to do, either behind closed doors when they are just on their own, or amongst other women. So it's quite free.
And
Like,
do you feel it's connected, or how do you feel it's connected with your work within birthing and, the kind of feminine divine? How is that connected?
well, it is connected in a way that women, like, it is a benefit for women that they really focus on their bodies, what they feel, and it makes women hip conscious. So, and when we are coming down to being hip conscious, we are already around the area that is basically the gateway for baby, for femininity, for all this word. And the other big thing that ties belly dancing in with birthing is that traditionally in the East, how Eastern women supported laboring their laboring fellow women is that they were in their own little tent, and the laboring woman was standing in the middle of the tent. So obviously there were like either a pole or something that was holding up the tent, so she was around so she can support herself. And they dig the hole in the ground, and obviously they laid it out with nice textiles, and I think they used to soak it in white tea and all sorts of things to so that is good for the newborn, so it's suitable for the newborn to arrive. And the members of this tribe, the other supporting women, were dancing around her. That was good for two reasons: that they were chanting and they were doing these repetitive hip movements with sort of like an induced kind of a hypnotic state that helps women to enter the labor land, if you like. And the other, they were showing the hip movements to the laboring mom, how to move, because it is very interesting. The movements of belly dancing, it helps women during labor to not work against the contractions, but over there. So it is kind of quite special dance, and how the two things really come together. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I told you a little that I had a home birth as well with my lovely daughter. It was when I lived back in South London in Croydon, and they had a lovely NHS birthing, home birthing team. So you got the option, and of course I was like, yes, of course I want this. And thankfully, that hospital, Croydon University Hospital, has got a really, really amazing home birthing team who are all into homeopathy, essential oils, and all kinds of wonderful things. And I had a birthing pool at home as well. And it was such a magical experience to have these. There was two lovely midwives. There was my mum there and my sister there. And it was that woman kind of, tribal energy. It was really, really amazing. So if I were pregnant again, what would and I wanted a home birth. I don't even know if Bournemouth has home birthing teams, but if I wanted a doula, how would I go about creating this beautiful experience?
Yeah. So generally speaking, when somebody gets in touch with the doula, we offer a free chat to find out if we are a good match. I do the same. So, for example, word of mouth, online, in whatever information that you come across, and you decide, oh, I like this lady, I want to check her out, then I'm present everywhere, like social media, email, you name it. So then the women get in touch with me, and then we meet up, we have a chat, and then if we find that we are a good fit, then we can start to work together. What I tend to do is it's a tricky thing, because sometimes doulas just want to wait the 20 weeks mark to be sure that everything is okay with the baby.
Yeah.
But I don't like waiting that late, because we are already missing out of the first 4 months, 5 months. And then so whenever the woman gets in touch with me, then we slowly, and she decides to she wants to work with me, then we slowly build up a connection. If it's too early, because my recent doula client, I think she got in touch with me, like literally probably having the positive gesture. And, okay, I want a doula.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, okay, fine. We met up, we talked, and then we slowly exchanged emails and messages and everything like that. And then somehow, maybe 15, 16 weeks, we just started to meet up. I like to meet up with my clients, in my doula clients, twice a month.
Yeah.
No, it might be a bit too much, especially if we start to work so early on. But then the advantage is there that I really know what that woman like, what that family like,
Yes.
in terms of all the wishes, of course, around birth and just a general personality. It's
Yeah, and energy.
important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important because there are, obviously, we are all different. Some women like to have birth support, like really hands-on, really encouraging. Some women just like, no, just leave me alone a little bit. Just leave me alone. Yeah. So
Yeah.
some women, and I won't
Is
know
it
it
true? Like
until,
sometimes I can imagine that they're like one way, and then when they're in the birthing process, they might be completely different. Because I think yeah, there was moments where I was like, just stop talking to me. We just need to be, there
yeah,
needs to be silence in this room. And
yeah.
other points, probably before that, I was just chit-chatting away.
Yes. No, absolutely. And then if I know the person so well, I can read the body language. So
Mm,
that is really important. Like being able to read between the lines, or being able to read between the body languages,
yeah,
what is there. So yeah, is we meet twice a month, and um, it really depends on what birth my clients wish to have, because I have worked with women who wanted to have the elective section, and then I was working with that. So
yes,
for me is not literally like natural birth and nothing else, is what
yeah.
my clients need, and what support they need with that particular wish. That is very important. Yeah.
That's really good. Because yeah, things can change as well towards the end. And if you'd
Oh yes.
been working with a doula all this time, and then actually you do have to go into hospital, it would, it's amazing that you still continue that journey together. That must be so important.
Yes. No. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I what I usually include in the doula package is hypnobirthing, if they wish to do it, and a few biomechanics for birth positions and adjustments to make sure that all the inner ligaments and tendons and muscles are in the right place, so that labor dystocia doesn't happen, which means like the baby takes a lot of time to come through the birth canal. That,
Yes, I read a brilliant book. Can I remember what it's called? The Natural Birthing Method by Dr. Guru Murphy or something. It's an Ayurvedic book, and
okay.
that's what I read. and she really spoke about the what she saw in the Western world and what she saw in India, and the different diets and lifestyles that were slowing down and making births a lot harder in the Western world. And she was starting to see it in India too, just because of things like fast food and all of that, and more sedentary lifestyle. So within the book, it had all different exercises. It had the different kind of stretches to help with the birthing, and it had the Ayurvedic diets in there as well. Yeah, which and out of my whole NCT group, how many were there? I think there were 6. I think there were 6 of us. One was pregnant with twins, so she was going to have a C-section anyway at the start. And I think I was the only one in the end that had a natural birth.
Wow.
Because there was just so many complications. Yeah, which I think is probably quite unusual for a group of 6 women, maybe. I mean, I don't know. No, you're shaking your head. No, it's not. Yeah. But I went on this like Ayurvedic diet. I did my lifestyle before having my baby and getting pregnant was not very healthy. So like I shifted dramatically. Yeah, like, no, this is a sign from God. It is time to change.
No, that is brilliant. You know, I think it is really important. It's not only purely for the fact that it was beneficial for you, but having that change of mindset, understanding, oh, okay, my life cannot continue how it was before. I need to make certain adjustments. And that point that triggered the change, I think that is really, and that's the journey from maiden to mother, isn't it? Part.
Yes.
And that's already a little bit.
Yeah. And it is regarding kind of diet and things like that. I don't think a lot of people realize how much of a workout it is giving birth. And your body does require, you know, some well, for your muscles and everything to be in quite good condition for it to flow. Yeah, do you give any advice on kind of nutrition and that side of things, or do you stick with the more psychology side?
Well, I do when we start. So because I keep antenatal classes as well, but when I work with on a one-to-one basis with my doula clients, so let's just imagine I can bring the antenatal class approach into the doula support as well, but not all the sessions, because then I bring all the sessions and then lots of doulas that I would move in with them. That's just so much time. But the reason I'm going back to this is because in my antenatal classes, as well as in doula support, I do focus on a lot on nutrition, yes, but I don't tend to give like, oh, eat this and that, change your diet, because all of us are different.
Yeah.
It's just more like, generally speaking, what nutrients are important. Basically that, and obviously if they have something really bad, like, I don't know, eating a whole cake every day, you know. But
you know, going to block up the system a little.
Because of course now there are more people out there, vegan, vegetarian, I don't know, than the religious approach, you know. many people have different views. If I work with Arabic women, they might, focus on that to follow their diet. So it is very complex, but definitely I focus on good quality supplements, like not just the average one that we grab off the shelf in Boots.
Yeah, because a lot of those are kind of man-made, more chemical.
Yeah.
Kind of, they're not from the natural source, are they? Some of the cheap versions. Yeah.
No, no. And the lifestyle, like you said, that's everything. That is everything. Yes, exercise, stress, like literally the moment someone becomes pregnant, I would say drop anything that is stressful. But obviously in our modern world this might not be feasible, but stress is an extremely bad element that can seep in during pregnancy and cause havoc.
Terrible. Yeah, stress can be just horrendous on the body and the mind, can't it? So it would be on a fetus, and too. Yeah. So if for our listeners, have you got any advice or top tips, that something that they can kind of implement for free or get information somewhere, something that's going to make their lives, their kind of birthing journeys a little bit easier?
Oh, sorry, just
We've got a little bit of a lag here, I think, haven't
messages
we?
coming up. Yes. Yeah, I think it's okay now. I've got a few little windows popping up all at once. So what I would recommend from the get-go is definitely exercise, fresh air. That's like every day. Go for a walk if they can. And lots of water. Yeah, no Fanta, whatever. Mexico.
Yes, everybody.
Yes.
Stop drinking that fizzy stuff. It's really not good for you.
No. and early on, start to kind of maybe read books. I'd sooner say than search online, because the bad thing with Googling lots of stuff is that maybe the website looks reliable where they display the information, but maybe the information is wrong. I'd be very, 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 generally speaking, I'm very picky what I read online. Obviously, from my professional perspective, I sooner read like research papers, first source of information, or second, third, God knows down the line. And what is very important, to be clued up, generally speaking, about birth rights. I would definitely advise parents to follow this organization, the Birth Rights Organization. They have a lot of good information about women's rights during pregnancy, birth, and beyond.
That's good.
And I think it's really, really, really important. Yeah, really.
So start reading some good books. Have you got any of your kind of, what would be your top sort of birthing books?
Yeah, there are like, over the last, I don't know, 10, 20 years, there are so many amazing books published on birthing. Like Sheila Kitzinger, she was a British social anthropologist that went slowly into birthing. Sarah Wickham, Dr. Sarah Wickham, no, her website is good. She's all about birthing.
Yeah.
She is an independent researcher. Dr. Rachel Reed. She's Australian. She works in Australia. So, but because that is different, they are a little bit more medicalized than here in the
And
UK.
that's the other thing, actually. Obviously, this is about local support. So we're thinking about our local hospitals and things like that. But actually, obviously, this is going out onto the net, so anyone can watch this and listen to this. And the kind of birthing rules around the world are completely different. I was considering moving to France around 10-ish years ago. And when I found out about the birthing kind of laws, regulation, I thought, no, I'm not. Because I thought I was hoping I would have a second child. Anyway, I don't. I just have one. But that just put me off because, you're in a hospital. You could probably get a private doula, but basically you're in a hospital, you're either having full drugs protocol or no drugs. There's nothing in between. And you are in a bed in stirrups. Full stop.
But the thing what surprises me
No way.
is that I like to say that I don't understand why they're still forcing it, because it is obviously just non-scientific. So it's like point blank, no evidence that actually suggests that is a good way to give birth. It's just purely because it just goes against the birth physiology. And it's just mind-blowing that doctors don't understand in certain countries. And like yourself said, looking at things in, like, looking at the birthing world or maternity care in different countries, it is so weird. We are more or less the same people, of course. There are little bit of differences because the lifestyle is different, different sun exposure, different diet, different genetic. Okay, but we are still the same sort of
humans.
women, But then you look at the US, horrendous mortality rate.
Really?
And they are,
Wow.
is And then look at other countries like the northern, like Scandinavian countries, and they are amazing when it comes to maternity care. I mean, it's just crazy. I think it's just
wow. So is it all about money?
Power, money, purely. I know there is a lot of ifs and buts. If we were to have a conversation about the why of obstetric care, but at the end it all boils down to
Power and money.
Power, money, patriarchal, that kind of,
So we are, I mean, we're very lucky in the UK to be able to have a choice, because some countries do not.
Or they have to, and I know in the US it depends which state, but in quite a few states there are no midwifery care whatsoever. So,
oh my gosh.
But then there are other states where, like, it is amazing, like rural, I don't know, Canada or and you have like midwives, like trooping through the snow.
Amazing. Okay, so have you got any have you got an offer for our audience?
Yes, I do. I've got a coupon code. I think it's Jane 5%. I actually don't remember. 5%. I have to have a look. I think it's think it's Jane. I think that's how I wrote it, Jane 5%. But if it doesn't work, just email me and say that that you have listened to this podcast and you would like to, I don't know, take part in any of my antenatal classes or have doula support. And if I know that you are somebody who listened to this podcast, then I'll obviously give you the discount. And the other thing, you can have a half an hour consultation with me for free of charge regarding anything, whether talking about maybe previous birth traumas or anything like birth planning and things like that. So yeah, that's my offer.
Fantastic. Okay. So I will put down all the details of how to get in touch with Bernadett, and you can search for her Womanly Art of Birth. You can search on Facebook, and it's also scrolling down the bottom if you are watching us. She's an independent birth professional. She's got lots of amazing services there for you, from doula services to pre and postnatal, and also belly dancing as well. So connect with Bernadett through her email, bernadett@womanlyartofbirth.co.uk. You can connect with her website, also on Facebook. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to interview you.
Thank you, Jane, and I really hope that the audience enjoyed this conversation, and it was lovely to talk with you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Stay Sane with Jane, Season 2, Local Legends, the show that helps you to thrive, not just survive. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Tune in each week as Jane connects with local legends of Dorset, bringing you the most up-to-date health and wellness guidance, therapies, courses, retreats, and stories happening locally. Each session includes a guided meditation hosted by Jane or one of her special guests. Here's your host, Jane Scanlan. Hello, wasn't that a magnificent interview? I'm so super pleased we got to have Bernadett on the show today. So we're now shifting down a gear and we're going into the meditative part of the show. So sit back, kick back, get comfortable, and we are going to take a chill pill. Today we are tuning into an earth element guided meditation. To begin this meditation, please bring kind awareness to what the phrase earth element means to you. How your belly, chest, and head feel when you reflect on this topic, this energy. Tune in to any emotions that show up, and any positive or negative impact stories that you believe in regarding this topic. And just remember, there are many other people out there feeling similarly about this as you. But with increased awareness and increased mindfulness, we can use this in our everyday life. So please take a seat. Maintain a kind of neutral spine position. If you're sitting on a chair, try to avoid leaning back. Just use that core and keep both feet firmly on the ground. Place your hands in your lap, just promoting a little relaxation in the shoulders. Chin level, eyes closed, or gazing low and soft. Breathe quietly in and out through your nose. Take a few cycles of breath to feel settled, to intentionally arrive in your meditation. Begin to lengthen the exhale breath. No forcing, just a gentle nudging. And with each exhale, bring awareness to the points of your body that are connected with the seat. And be aware that beneath your seat, beyond the floor beneath you, beyond the structure, building, is the earth. In this quiet and stillness, bring attention to your physical body. Begin with the form of the body, the general outer silhouette, the overall shape. You might visualize the body as just an outline, or slowly fill in all the details. But rest in the awareness of the outer form of the body, your skin, your hair, and your nails. And then turn your attention a little further inward. Aware of the flesh and the muscles of the body. The layers just below the skin. Further inward, bring awareness to the bones, the skeletal structure of the body, holding you tall, supporting you. Both the muscles and the skeletal system, protecting all your most vital inner organs. And then turn attention again further inward towards those organs. Maybe you can sense the movement of the lungs, or the beat of the heart. Is it possible to sense any other organs? The stomach, the kidney, the liver. And I invite you to keep going inward until you reach the level of the body at a cellular structure. You could zone in on one small detailed area, or hold awareness of a general sense of all the atoms and molecules that create your form. And then draw your awareness to the dance of these molecules at the edge of what we think are the boundaries of our body. These tiny particles, always in exchange with the space and the form around us. We know that the breath is a means of exchange between outer and inner worlds. Particles in, particles out. We know that we are constantly shedding hair, skin, nails. But what about this connection right here and right now between our body and the earth? All particles of your body continually in exchange with the earth around you. Zoom in to the space between your body and the object upon which you sit. Can you see the boundary line? What does it look like at its most microscopic level? There's a dance, a play, an exchange. All of the elements that make up you are the very same elements that make up the world around you. All of the earth elements which make the ground underneath you solid are the same earth elements which make the cushion or the chair upon which you sit. And these are the same earth elements which create the shape of your human body. All of it the same, all of it connected. All of it vibrating. So rest in the awareness that there is no separation between you and the earth. Energy within reflects energy without. Energy without comes from energy within. Your calm breath, your quiet mind, your stillness create the same in the space all around you. As we come back to the bigger picture, to the feeling of the silhouette of our body and the weight of that body on the chair, our feet on the floor, connected to the earth around us, sitting tall, bringing a little bit of movement into the body. Taking some deep, energetic breaths. Starting to open your eyes, come back and notice the world, the earth around you, and place a beautiful smile upon your face. You are grounded, you are here, you are always connected to the earth. Exchanging particles, exchanging energy, exchanging vibration. Thank you so much for joining me on this guided meditation. My name is Jane Scanlan, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Mindeditation, a combination of mindfulness and meditation. Just search for me, Jane Scanlan, like and subscribe.